Biggie is an entertainer, you know what I'm saying? He makes music and he makes videos, you know what I'm saying? That's Biggie Smalls. But Christopher Wallace is the person, you know what I'm saying? That's the one that has to take care of the family, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, the daughters, the wife, all of that. That's Christopher, you know what I'm saying? That's the real person. Oh, I leave all that Biggie stuff alone, man. I don't even like even be, well, you don't blend too much. Biggie is a completely different person.
Christopher Wallace, renowned by the monikers Notorious B.I.G. and Biggie Smalls, emerged as a trailblazer in 1990s rap music. Though his fame shone intensely, it was a fleeting brilliance in the span of his life. A year after Shakur was murdered, Notorious B.I.G. was preparing to release his second album when he was gunned down at the age of 24 as he left a party in Los Angeles. Posthumously, the album ascended to the pinnacle of the charts, securing the #1 spot. Notorious B.I.G. stands tall among the pantheon of all-time great rappers, earning a prominent rank in the echelons of the genre. Life can change in an instant. For the Brooklyn boy universally known as Biggie, the tide of change arrived prematurely, the fateful bullet that claimed the life of the Notorious B.I.G. On March 9, 1997, ushered in a profound transformation for those who held him dear, family, friends, and devoted fans alike. Here is the story of Christopher George Latore Wallace. The Notorious B.I.G. was born Christopher George Latore Wallace in Brooklyn, New York City to a 25-year-old schoolteacher on May 21, 1972. An only child, Wallace spent most of his childhood on 226 St. James Place near the Bedford-Stuyvesant border. His father left the family when Smalls was 2 years old. He was nicknamed Big because he was overweight by the age of 10. In his childhood years, Wallace grappled with depression, anxiety, and paranoia, experiences that would later become prominent themes in the lyrical content he addressed. Although Wallace was a good student, by the age of 12, two pivotal elements entered his life, altering its course irreversibly: the world of rap and the grip of crack. He would be arrested numerous times during his short life. He attended the Roman Catholic Bishop Laughlin Memorial High School before transferring to George Westinghouse Career and Technical Education High School, where future rappers Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes were also attending. Fascinated by rap from an early age, he embarked on his journey by joining local rap crews, such as the Old Gold Brothers, as well as Techniques. His prowess with words, both spoken and written, quickly garnered recognition and appreciation within the rap circles. At the age of 17, Wallace dropped out of high school with aspirations of becoming a rap superstar, following the footsteps of his idols Run DMC and Big Daddy Kane. Attracted by the money and flashy style of local drug dealers, he also started selling crack for a living. Biggie's real school was the street. His goal was to make enough cash to ease his and his mother's financial burden. His earliest stage name was MC Quest. Wallace also received tutelage in jazz from saxophonist Donald Harrison, who lived nearby his home. Due to his illegal street activities, Wallace was eventually busted in North Carolina in 1990 and spent 9 months in jail for dealing crack. After being released from jail, Biggie started taking rap seriously. Christopher Wallace, with the help of a local DJ named 50 Grand, recorded a demo tape called Microphone Murderer under the alias Biggie Smalls, a reference to a character from the movie Let's Do It Again. Due to legal issues with the name, he later adopted a second stage name, the Notorious B.I.G. With a little help from Big Daddy Kane, DJ Mr. C and Juice Crew, Biggie's demo tape made the rounds. In March 1992, Wallace caught the spotlight in The Source's Unsigned Hype column, which was dedicated to showcasing promising rappers. This exposure translated into a recording opportunity. The demo tape, which Biggie supposedly made just for fun, reached the offices of Uptown Entertainment head honcho Andre Harrell via a young intern and producer named Sean Puff Combs. Uptown Records signed Wallace on July 14, 1992. Wallace made an early appearance on label mates Heavy D and the Boys' 1993 track A Bunch of Niggas. Around mid-year, approximately a year after Wallace's signing, Uptown Records fired Combs. Just a week later, Combs launched Bad Boy Records and made the Notorious B.I.G. his flagship artist. Combs is a big reason we have songs like Juicy and Big Papa, pop-savvy cuts that allow the listener to luxuriate in Biggie's charm. On August 8, 1993, Jan Jackson, Wallace's longtime girlfriend, gave birth to his first child, Tiana, although the couple had parted by then. With his new daughter in need of immediate financial support, Biggie kept dealing drugs for a short time until Combs found out and laid down the law. Later that year, Christopher Wallace gained popularity on a remix of Mary J. Blige's single, Real Love. During this period, Christopher formed a close friendship with fellow rapper Tupac Shakur. In one of the interviews, Lil Cease remembered them as inseparable, often traveling together during their downtime. According to Lil Cease, Wallace was a regular visitor at Shakur's home, and they spent considerable time together, whether Shakur was in California or Washington, D.C. A month prior to the release of his first album, Smalls married R&B singer Faith Evans, whom he had recently met at a Bad Boy Records photo shoot. They tied the knot after knowing each other for 8 days. Evans soon separated from Smalls, reportedly when she discovered his affair with Lil' Kim. He also began dating performer Charlie Baltimore, with the two appearing in public together, something he had avoided previously with Lil' Kim. Evans would eventually reconcile with Smalls and give birth to a son, Christopher C.J. Wallace Jr., in October 1996, a time in which Smalls was reportedly continuing his affair with Lil' Kim, on whose record he was working. Ready to Die was released on September 13, 1994. It reached number 13 on the Billboard 200 chart and was eventually certified 4 times platinum. The album shifted attention back to East Coast hip-hop at a time when West Coast hip-hop dominated U.S. charts. It gained strong reviews and has received much praise in retrospect. In addition to Juicy, the record produced 2 hit singles, the platinum-selling Big Papa, which reached number 1 on the U.S. rap chart, and One More Chance, which sold 1.1 million copies in 1995. In November 1994, Tupac Shakur, the West Coast gangsta rap icon, was shot multiple times in the lobby of a New York recording studio and was also robbed of thousands of dollars in jewelry. Despite surviving the attack, Shakur accused Shone Puffy Combs and his former ally Biggie of orchestrating the assault, a claim vehemently denied by both. This accusation fueled escalating animosity, leading to a fierce rivalry between the West Coast and East Coast factions, with the emerging Bad Boy Records now challenging Suge Knight's Death Row Empire for dominance in the hip-hop realm. Sometime in 1995, Wallace was booked to perform in Sacramento. It was alleged that when his entourage arrived at the venue, there weren't many people there, and when they started performing, they were getting coins tossed at them. When they left, they were held at gunpoint in the venue's parking lot, allegedly set up by E40's goons, who were angry about an interview Wallace did with a Canadian magazine. It was alleged that during the interview, when asked to rank a handful of artists on a scale from 1 to 10, Wallace gave E40 a 0. One of Wallace's entourage said to get E40 on the phone. Wallace explained how they had got him drunk and had got him to say anything. E40 told his men to stand down and safely escorted them to the airport. Between 1994 up until his death, the Notorious B.I.G. formed and mentored a hip-hop group called Junior Mafia. All the members were under the age of 20 when the group was formed. The group was formed from 3 separate groups and 4 individuals, if not including the Sixes, or 666, Lil Cease, Bugsy, Capone, Chico, and Nino Brown. The Snakes, cousins Larceny and Trife. Solo artist, Kleptomaniac, who was responsible for introducing the Notorious B.I.G. to Versace and Moschino-styled rap lyrics, Mr. Bristol, Chico Del Vec, and Lil' Kim, aka Big Mama and/or the Lieutenant. The Sixes knew the Notorious B.I.G. before he was rapping. The Notorious B.I.G. acted as the godfather to the group. After the death of the Notorious B.I.G. in 1997, the crew became defunct. In July 1995, he appeared on the cover of The Source with the caption, "The King of New York Takes Over," a reference to his alias Frank White, based on a character from the 1990 film King of New York. At the Source Awards in August 1995, he was named Best New Artist, Solo, Lyricist of the Year, Live Performer of the Year, and his debut Album of the Year. At the Billboard Awards, he was Rap Artist of the Year. Biggie ended 1995 as not only the top-selling rap artist, but also the biggest solo male act on both the pop and R&B charts. He also ran into trouble with the law on more than one occasion. A concert promoter accused him and members of his entourage of assaulting him when he refused to pay the promised fee after a concert cancellation. Later in the year, Biggie pled guilty to criminal mischief after attacking two harassing autograph seekers with a baseball bat. Amid his year of triumph, Wallace found himself entangled in the escalating rivalry between the East and West Coast hip-hop scenes, particularly with Shakur, now a former friend. In an interview with Vibe in April 1995, conducted while incarcerated at Clinton Correctional Facility, Shakur accused Andre Harrell, the founder of Uptown Records, along with Sean Combs and Wallace, of having foreknowledge of a robbery that resulted in him being shot 5 times and losing valuable jewelry on the night of November 30, 1994. Although Wallace and his entourage were present in the same Manhattan-based recording studio during the incident, they vehemently denied any involvement in or knowledge of the alleged plot. Biggie and Combs denied these allegations. Later that year, on October 4, 1995, Shakur signed to Death Row Records and was released from prison a week later. This made Bad Boy Records and Death Row business rivals and thus intensified the quarrel. 1996 brought on a dramatic climax to his short-lived recording career. Tupac by mid-July had released Hit 'Em Up, one of the most venomous battle spits in hip-hop. Here Pac claims to have had sexual intercourse with Biggie's wife, Faith, out of pure insult to Biggie's personal life. On a Jay-Z collabo, Brooklyn's Finest, Biggie retaliates with references to his wife's pregnancy. On September 7, 1996, following a Mike Tyson fight against Bruce Seldon, Tupac Shakur fell victim to a fatal drive-by shooting. He was shot several times, and despite being hospitalized for 6 days, he succumbed to complications from the gunshot wounds. The media immediately speculated about Biggie's potential involvement, fueled by reports of a scuffle in the MGM Grand Lobby involving Tupac, Suge Knight, and an LA Crip associated with Bad Boy Records. The blame for the tragic event was directed toward the East Coast label, intensifying suspicions around the rap giant. In the aftermath of Tupac's death, an anti-violence hip-hop summit took place, notable for Biggie's absence, which drew criticism. Shortly afterward, Biggie faced personal challenges, enduring a car accident that resulted in a shattered left leg. He went on to use a wheelchair and then a cane for support during his recovery. In November, Lil' Kim dropped her debut album, Hardcore. The pair were still in arms, despite Biggie's marriage to Faith. By early 1997, Christopher Wallace, better known Biggie Smalls or the Notorious B.I.G., was seeking to squash the East Coast-West Coast rap feud that many felt had fueled the September 1996 murder of his friend-turned-rival Tupac Shakur. Now the father of a young son and recently survived a car accident that had left him using a cane to walk, Wallace was determined to see his dreams through as he finished up his sophomore album for Sean Puffy Combs' Bad Boy Entertainment, Life After Death. He traveled to LA to shoot the video for its lead single, Hypnotize, in February 1997 and stuck around for the Soul Train Music Awards, sitting for interviews in which he expressed sadness at Shakur's death. Despite Biggie's attempts at reconciliation, the Los Angeles music community greeted the Bad Boy contingent with a chilly reception during their appearance at the March 7 awards show. Wallace faced jeers from the audience when he stepped forward to announce Toni Braxton as the winner of the Best R&B Soul Single Award. With an initially scheduled trip to Europe canceled, Wallace found himself with idle time at the Westwood Marquis Hotel on March 8th. According to Vibe, he spent a significant part of the day with his agent, Phil Casey, deliberating plans for an upcoming tour. Eager to get out, the rapper persuaded his friends to attend an industry party at the Peterson Automotive Museum in the Miracle Mile district. Although several known gang members had managed to infiltrate the guest list, the overall vibe at the party was said to be a happy one. Choosing to return to their hotel, Combs hopped into the first of 3 cars with several bodyguards. Wallace settled into the front passenger seat of the second car, a green GMC Suburban, alongside his driver, Gregory G-Money Young, with 2 more friends in the back. As Combs' lead SUV quickly went through a yellow light, Wallace's group remained at the intersection of Wilshire and Fairfax Avenue. Suddenly, a white Toyota Land Cruiser executed a U-turn, attempting to maneuver behind the green Suburban. In that critical moment, a dark Chevy Impala pulled up beside Wallace. The driver, an African-American man in a blue suit and bow tie, locked eyes with the rapper before reaching over and unleashing gunfire from his automatic pistol at the car. Meanwhile, Combs abandoned his SUV and sprinted across the street to the green Suburban. There, he discovered his friend hunched over and bleeding on the dashboard. He was immediately rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center by his security team. He was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. that same morning. His autopsy, which was released 15 years after his death, showed that only the final shot was fatal. It entered through his right hip and struck his colon, liver, heart, and left lung before stopping in his left shoulder. 1 week after Wallace's March 18th funeral, Life After Death debuted to great acclaim, en route to a spot among the top-selling rap albums in history. 16 days after his death, Wallace's double-disc second album was released as planned. Originally titled Life After Death, Till Death Do Us Part and later shortened to Life After Death, the album hit #1 on the Billboard 200 charts after making a premature appearance at number 176 due to street date violations. The record album featured a much wider range of guests and producers than its predecessor. It gained strong reviews and in 2000 was certified diamond by the RIAA. Its lead single, Hypnotize, was the last music video recording in which Wallace would participate. His biggest chart success was with its follow-up, Mo Money Mo Problems, featuring Sean Combs under the rap alias Puff Daddy and Maze. Both singles reached #1 on the Hot 100, making Wallace the first artist to achieve this feat posthumously. In December 1999, Bad Boy released Born Again. The album consisted of previously unreleased material mixed with new guest appearances, including many artists Wallace had never collaborated with in his lifetime. Wallace had begun to promote a clothing line called Brooklyn Mint, which was to produce plus-sized clothing, but it fell dormant after he died. In 2004, his managers Mark Pitts and Wayne Barrow launched the clothing line with help from Jay-Z, selling t-shirts with images of Wallace on them. A portion of the proceeds go to the Christopher Wallace Foundation and to Jay-Z's Sean Carter Scholarship Foundation.